Welcome food fans, picky eaters, the flavor curious, and everyone in between. Nothing makes good food better than good conversation, and your table is ready. Welcome back to another episode of the Food for Thoughtcast with your hosts, Melissa Reagan and Steven Gonzalez, but you can call them Chef. All right, let's get this episode started.
Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for Thoughtcast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan, and my co-host with the most, Chef Steven Gonzalez. What's up, Steve?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Super excited because we have an amazing guest here with us today.
Yes, we do.
We are talking to Chris Finch from Finch Barbecue. What's up, Chris?
Woo!
Hello. Thanks for having me.
So you guys, everybody out there that listens, if you're local or not, you can put a name with a face. I think we've mentioned it on maybe, 45 out of 70 episodes now about something we did with Finch rubber sauce. So,
That's
yeah.
And our social media posts and YouTube videos, It's all been, we really like your stuff. Yes.
Thank you.
I hope everybody's strapped in and buckled up because the whole episode's going to be like, we like your sauce.
Yeah.
And also the sauce. Yes. And so, Chris, what's going on today? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Not much going on. Just been cleaning up around the house, getting ready. I went and gave blood today. So, yay.
Nice.
Amazing.
So, yeah, just taking an easy day off for the most part. We don't have any events this weekend, so we don't have to do a lot of cooking. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got going on. Nothing too crazy this week. Just trying to get POs out and invoices done and stuff like that.
All the fun behind the scenes part of running a business.
Yeah, once you that's the thing is like it somehow has transpired into or whatever from just spending so many days and hours on making this stuff, and now you never make it anymore. And now you just spend all your days like contacting people through emails and going to do. It's crazy how much this business changes from the start to where it is now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I can't even imagine. Well, for those of you who don't know, Chris Finch owns a Finch barbecue, and they make barbecue seasonings and sauces. And I think you do just a bit more than that. You're getting out into the community now. You make some pickup dinners. I've seen that you have this amazing new red smoker. Yeah. Did we miss anything?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, we definitely have evolved into an actual barbecue food kind of establishment, rather than just doing rubs and sauce, which was the dream all along. Is starting this whole thing is I wanted to learn how to make brisket and make it the right way and the best way possible, and so I was terrible at that. So that's how we got into the sauce business. But anyway, now that that's all set aside and like we have a co-packer, like we can kind of start divulging into the food, which is where the real passion is, which is where we really enjoy.
That's awesome. Well, before we get into it, let's talk about some amazing things we ate. I always ask everybody at the top of the episode. So since you're our guest today, I'll let you go first. What was the most amazing thing you ate this week?
I don't know how amazing it is because like we make a lot of great food, but we don't eat it. Like we just sample it from here and there. But yesterday we had some I smoked a bologna chub last week, like a 5-pound bologna chub, and then I did a smoked turkey breast, and so we had that left over. And so yesterday Wendy took a slice of bologna and turkey and cheese and mayo and just put it on butter bread. And my Lord, it was a delicious cold sandwich. I haven't had one of those in so long.
There is nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
So it was like, relatively inexpensive and leftover and all that, but dang, it was good. It's just like one of those it kind of takes you back just eating a fried smoked bologna sandwich with some turkey and cheese.
Yes.
Nice.
Steve,
way
what
to do
about
it.
you?
So I want to say earlier in the week I made some homemade sausage, chicken sausage. I haven't done that since culinary school, pretty much. So it's been like 20 years. So that was really delicious. And then of course you're just finding different ways to use it. So you're making like chicken sausage flatbreads, chicken sausage hot dogs, all sorts of stuff. But what we did was we made some really just simple hot dogs with like a pesto mayo, a lot of garlic, and just that alone, yeah, simple but delicious. So yeah,
that sounds very good.
Yeah.
What about you, Melissa?
Man, I've been on a chicken thigh kick. I grabbed a bunch on sale. And so, Chris, you'll find this interesting. Most of the time, the beef rub that you make ends up being used on vegetables in my house. I don't know if that's like sacrilege or not, but like it's really good on everything, and beef is expensive, so I don't buy a lot of beef. But the chicken thighs, let's see, a couple of days ago, did them in the air fryer. They were skin on and bone in until the skin got really crispy. I just brined them a little bit, like in a little salt water with about a tablespoon of sugar, patted them dry and put them in there. And then I ended up kind of making a glaze with the rest of my bottle of the sweet hot rub with a little teriyaki sauce and like half of a French onion soup packet. It was kind of a clean out the pantry type situation. Yeah. And I've been stuck on cabbage and green beans, and that's what it was. I mean, that's kind of been the deal for like 2 weeks now. It's like some sort of braised meat, cabbage, and green beans.
Wow.
Minus green beans, it all just sounds awesome. So awesome.
Steve hates green beans, Chris.
I like certain green beans. I like the green beans cake.
We're not going to labor under the delusion that I'm buying fresh green beans. This brand, I think, is called Margaret Holmes, and they come in like a really large, wide can at Walmart, and they have a lot of bacon grease in them. They're they're like wide beans. They're really fantastic. Okay. They're actually so well seasoned that they require nothing straight out of the can. I mean, and if somebody wants to like take my chef card for that, that's fine. But like, I also like sleeping and paying bills, so sometimes I make food simple. Like that's
one thing we've learned is you gotta have the food that's delicious that brings people in, and then you gotta have the food with the high margins. So there's your high margins.
Yeah, you call that you call that a loss leader on a menu. Yes. So yeah, buddy, that's like food industry 101. I love. What did you do with brisket? This was just really recent, Chris. So you got this smoker. Well, first tell us about the smoker. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So the smoker I ordered in November last year, or October, something like that. Right after we sold our house, I just went and paid cash for it because I knew if I didn't pay cash for it, I wasn't going to be able to afford it. And this was, anyway, that's a different story. The smoker's amazing. It's a 500 gallon, and it's on a trailer. With dual axles. It holds about 17 briskets, completely maxed out. It's got a Santa Maria grill on it as well towards the front, which is one of those, it just raises up and down.
Yeah.
I think they call it it's an El Nino is what they call it. But the pit is made from M&M Barbecue Company out of Toole, Texas. And to give you an idea of just like the caliber of work that these people do, they have smokers and a whole lot of American baseball stadiums. One being the World Series Texas Rangers. And so that's really cool to have these people like on my side that are working for such big projects like that, to be able to make that connection and be able to, afford something that's really nice that gets, people looking at it. I didn't buy it to show off, I guess. I bought it.
Are you sure?
So that people would come to an event and see it, not know who we are, and that draws them. And that's the whole reason I went with the setup that we have. Definitely could have spent a lot less money for something to do the same exact things, but nobody's going to stop and look at that. I need people to figure out who we are, and so that was the big reason. It's a marketing tool for us. So.
I'm looking at your website right now, and I'm looking at those pictures, and I have to say that's impressive. It's beautiful.
Oh, the smoker.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it was yeah. I mean,
It's
I'm homeless
it
because of
is.
that smoker.
Well, you've got the truck to pull the smoker.
I got the
So
truck too. Yes.
Yeah.
Those were the
well,
two items we bought after we sold our house and moved in with the mother-in-law to try and make this whole thing work.
well, to we can dive into the small world aspect of this. So for those of you who don't know, I used to attend church with Chris and his wife Wendy. I actually remember buying barbecue sauce by cash, picking it up on your front porch
Yeah, I
back in
remember. I
the
remember
day.
delivering it to you as well.
And then one of those M's in the M&M barbecue is a dear friend's brother of mine.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
Which one?
extremely small
Matt
world.
or
Matt.
Michael?
Yeah, Matt.
Matt? Oh, okay, that's awesome.
It's
Yeah, he's such a good guy.
my friend Heather's brother. So I was just like, whoa, what's happening? I hope to talk to them one day too. So
Yeah, definitely. Like they will take care of you. They treat you like family. It's insane. Like so,
I
here's
love
the
it.
deal. Like I needed this smoker. Originally, it was a year out. I wasn't gonna get it for till November this year, and so that's when I came up with the cash idea because
Mm-hmm.
cash is king. And so
Mm-hmm.
I just went to Michael and was like, hey man, this is what I need. I need it by this date. And we literally picked it up that day. The Friday we picked it up and drove it straight to the Troubadour Barbecue Festival at Texas A&M at Kyle Field.
Wow.
That's how tight the
Nice.
deadline was. And they were able to push it out for me. So it's like they got that thing done in 6 months and it was crazy. So like
Wow.
yeah, they treat you like family. And I had another event in between then, and I drove out there and they let me borrow a trailer and one of their El Rey's, I think is their bigger one. It's like a 72 inch.
Wow.
Just a massive Santa Maria. And we did this really cool like fajita setup with it at a business we did last year for like Christmas or Thanksgiving where we just cooked fajitas on site. And they let me borrow that because I didn't have the smoker yet. So it's just like
Oh
wow.
man.
they didn't charge me anything. So it's like they really just, took care
That's
of me
good
like
business.
family.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, can't
There's
say enough about them.
good folks all over North Texas doing amazing things with people and with food, and then bringing the two together, which is like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, if for those of you who don't follow Finch Barbecue, what are you doing with your life? But you need to follow them on social media because you'd see the pictures of this thing. It looks like it's like candy apple red. Looks like a
It
classic
is.
Yeah.
car. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, they wanted like I didn't come up with the candy apple red idea. That was theirs, and they were just kind of throwing it out there, because nobody had really picked it yet because it was so expensive. So like I dive into things when I start learning about stuff, and to think about red paint is apparently the most expensive paint because
Mhm.
pigments. And then when you
Mm-hmm.
go into the candy apple, it gets even way more expensive because you're going into layers. And so you're just having to layer and layer. And so anyway, I'm glad we went with it. It's definitely a hot rod. We wax it, we wash it,
I
we
love it.
we spray
Really?
everything on the
I can
tires to make it
imagine.
shine. Like, yeah, I mean, I treat it like a classic car. I mean, it's definitely show quality.
I love that. I mean, it's not any different from the way like a chef takes care of their knives. I think,
No,
to be honest. I mean, you want things to last. You want to be able to use them for a
yes.
really long time. You know. So, how did you get into, take us through the journey? Like, how'd you learn how to make brisket? I mean, whatever you can share or want to share. I
Yeah.
don't know if
Oh,
anything's
wow.
proprietary, right? And then, how did you start making like sauces?
Uh, so barbecue started for me in 2017. I went to Academy and bought me. I needed a new gas grill, because we had just sold our house in Garland, and I left the gas grill there because it was old and just decrepit. So anyway, went out there to Academy and ended up picking up an Oklahoma Joe 3-in-1. So it was a little bitty smoker, a gas grill, and then like a little charcoal area. So you could do multiple different things. And so my mindset was, well, I just need the gas grill. It's the same price as a really nice gas grill, but it comes with a smoker. Maybe I'll try out
Mm-hmm.
smoking. So that was what got me into smoking. I'd never smoked anything prior to that. I'd only just, cooked burgers and chicken and steaks on
Yeah.
grills and flat
Right.
tops. And so, anyway, after that, one of my friends, Jeremy Taylor, noticed that I was posting terrible looking, ribs and burnt chicken. And so he sent me an invite to a barbecue group, North Texas Barbecue Addicts. And I kind of just fell in love with it and started commenting on people's photos and videos to try and learn how to do more. Well, so that's where it started. So fast forward about a year, I've got a few little Weber smokers. I've learned how to cook some stuff. I gave up on brisket though because it turned into beef jerky, the one that I did.
Oh no.
And so anyway, so yeah, so it's like a couple years went by. I'm slowly starting to learn some stuff. 2020 hits, right? So that's kind of when I start getting really into it. And I became friends with a pitmaster at Terry Black's in Deep Ellum on opening day. His name is Drew Lindsay. Can't thank him enough. He's still one of my best friends today. He's a current pitmaster over at Dane's Craft Barbecue in Lido, Texas, and they're a top 50 Texas monthly barbecue.
Nice.
So the caliber person that Drew is amazing. Became friends with him, and we ended up doing a competition later on that year in like November or October of 2020, and won first place. We won grand champion out of 34 teams.
Wow.
His boss, his general manager, found out about that at Terry Black's and offered me a job. I started working there in February of 2021, and that's when my barbecue professional career started. And my God, it was hard. I mean, literally the first day I was there, I was contemplating whether or not this is really what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you know, my first day there, they send me over to the J&R rotisserie smoker, which holds, 400 pounds of sausage. And so they were like, okay, here's 400 pounds of sausage, and it's all linked together. And so I've got to cut them and lay them on there and then smoke. Like, I was like, no, like, this
They're
is
like,
not.
don't screw it up.
Yeah,
Have
it's like,
fun.
I'm here to learn brisket, not cook sausage on the rotisserie. I need to learn how to run a fire. So anyway, I did that for a year, smoked over 30,000 briskets, messed up a whole lot of briskets. And that's kind of where the profession started for me, is I really just kind of fell in love and became very addicted to it at that point.
Yeah.
And just in between all that, after that first terrible brisket is when I started making sauce. We came up with the sauce because I needed something to cover up the brisket.
Sorry, guys, there's a gnat in here, I promise.
That's okay. Oh, I can see it. Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's crazy.
But yeah, so that's where it started. I made sauce because I was a terrible cook, and the rubs came out in 2022 when we were doing the state fair. So we were about a weekend on the state fair, and I had so many people just telling me, "Oh, I don't like sauce. If you need sauce, you don't know how to cook. I just like rubs and seasoning." So I was like, okay. So I told Wendy, I said, we're going to Costco Business and Restaurant Depot and buying everything we need to make 100 bottles of seasoning. And I'm just going to sell those sold out like within the next weekend at the state fair. So we were literally going home every night for the last 2.5 weeks of the first state fair and staying up till like 1 or 2 a.m. every single night, just making 20 and 30 bottles of seasonings.
Wow.
And that was just to offset, like I said, that was just to offset the people that were telling me no, just so I could gain their business and gain them as a customer.
Yeah.
And so, and that's the things you have to do in business. You got to figure out ways to gain a customer that doesn't want to be your customer.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, that's why we came out with the sauces and rubs, and we're in over 100 stores now. I don't know. It's just kind of rolling. It's been crazy.
It's incredible.
I was gonna say, I was looking at your website further, and it said that you're in a central market, things like that. And to me, that's a big thing, and it's only hopefully a matter of time before we get into like HEB stuff like that, because I'd be buying them by the case, man.
Yeah, that's the dream. I mean, we've talked to HEB for 2.5 years now. We've talked to Buc-ee's for 3 years. I've talked to Academy for 3 years. It just takes time.
Golly, some Buc-ee's brisket with your sauce. That would be like, that's the dream.
It's pretty good.
I know they mass produce, like, whatever. I like Buc-ee's brisket. I don't care.
Hey,
it's really good.
It's not cooked on site, by the way. It's cooked out of state.
I know. It's like Rudy's. It's like when you go to a Rudy's and they open the smoker, but it's actually an Alto Sham. It's just a warmer. I'm like,
Alto Sham are the best.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, I know what the deal is. It's good.
Yeah.
I didn't have to make it. So
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, that's why I cook all my briskets the day before. They just rest in the Alto Sham overnight, and then we go to an event.
Yeah, it was just all the juice comes back to the middle. I mean, it's perfect. It's like what you got to do,
insane.
you know.
So,
well, in case you didn't know, like Chef Steven works for HEB.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why I say, man. I'll try. Yeah. I'll see what I can do.
So we entered the Quest for the Best or whatever, you know, like
Quest for Texas Best. Yep.
Yeah, 2.5 years ago, I think, and we made it to the second round. Got the interview talk with some lady, and at like literally the first thing she said when we got on the phone with her was, "Hey, we love y'all's products. We would love to try and get you in here, regardless whether or not if you win. So we're just gonna stay in contact." Well, we stayed in contact, and she got moved to a different position, which apparently, happens in the buyer's world
quite often.
They only allow buyers for like 2 to 3 years so that they don't, get kickbacks and all kinds of other stuff and build relationships. So there's a lot of this whole side of the business that's crazy. And that's why it takes time. Is like we built that relationship and then she moved, and so that severed, getting in there because the other buyer that came in didn't know who we were, didn't know anything about us. So it is what it is. Movements and stuff like that just they take a long time. The United deal that we just got in 2 months ago, we got into 39 new stores there, all the way out to New Mexico. We're in 10 new stores in New Mexico. I don't think all the United stuff's on our website yet, but that took almost a year.
Are you gonna go to New Mexico and teach them how to make barbecue? Because
so we are gonna go to New Mexico because one of the Albertsons markets we're doing there is going to be a grand opening event, and so
yay,
we're going to go out there and just we're pulling the smoker all the way to New Mexico.
I was just being a jerk, but that's amazing.
But yeah, so mine, like, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not going to get paid to do any of that. Like, that's just something we have to.
That's good
business. We're going to take the cost of admission for doing business. You know,
for getting on the shelf. Yeah, right. I'm okay with that. So but we're going to drive the smoker around to all the Breaking Bad locations and take pictures.
That'll be incredible.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I'm most excited about. Like,
yes.
Yay, we're in 10 stores in New Mexico, but I want to go see the A1 car wash and the house with the pizza.
Yes, do that.
So it's like, and Candy will be able to be in all the pictures. It's going to be pretty cool.
Love it.
Hopefully it gets some
I
views.
love it. Yes.
I think that would be a good marketing tactic. Most definitely.
Who knows?
It's going to be awesome.
But yeah, Chris, I hope we get into HEB to circle back around.
Yeah, we'll be in touch. Yeah, most definitely. I'll point you in the right direction.
Thank you.
Like I'm talking like I have that kind of clout, but I'll see what I can do.
You've got clout.
I know. I happen to know a handful of the buyers, things like that. So, and you're right. They do rotate quite often. So,
I have a broker and a co-packer who have been in this business for 20 plus years. They have almost 50 years combined of knowledge, and that's where I kind of learn all those little tips and tricks as to why you don't hear back if you send an email. Well, it's like, for sauce, that was the review period was 3 months ago or 4 months ago. And, the review period for, rubs is later on in the year at United. So, like, they just carry our sauce. They don't even carry our rubs like Central Market does. So just little things like that. Just you have different categories, different buyers. All kinds of stuff when you get into markets like that.
Yeah. You're definitely right on that one. It's amazing how it's just always evolving, things like that. And so new things pop up and you're like, oh, this new competitor popped up. I got to make sure people know about my stuff and keep, promoting the hell out of it. And fortunately you got people like us to just, we love showcasing our love for Finch barbecue.
It's our tens and tens of listeners. It's a little bit more than that.
It's growing.
It's growing. It's growing. We actually
you have to keep doing it.
Lifetime downloads and our weekly subscribers are like really impressive, and we've been doing it for, I think this will be like episode 74. But one thing will not change is like I straight be using this Finch stuff all the time, and I'm getting ready to move to North Carolina for work, and I'm like getting ready to either my family's going to go to the fair and mail it, or I'm going to order it from the website because I already know. I already know.
So we just shipped. I say shipped. we just changed all of our shipping bottles, and we're still waiting to get our originals and our Habanero X to plastic. But right now we have all of our sweet habanero in plastic. So we're going to be using all plastic bottles at all events and for shipping, and then all the major stores will have all glass still. So it's just, there was just so many broken packages when that whole Meat Church video came out. Like, we sent over 700 orders and had like 40 or 50 packages come back of just
wow,
broken.
It's a bummer.
And it's just like they just don't take care of it. And it's like, we don't mind shipping out another bottle of sauce or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we give extras when that stuff happens. The thing is, it's the shipping. I've got to now cover at least $10 per order of just shipping, and so it's like we were just getting killed on that, and so we just switched over to plastic bottles. Anyway.
Yeah, that's like basically breaking even.
Yeah,
honestly,
it was rough.
So
but
the thing I appreciated about buying the rub at the fair is like you can haul that around in like the crap plastic bag all day and nothing was going to happen to it.
Yeah. Because even at the state fair, we replaced probably 5 or 6 bottles through those 24 days because people bump into people or somebody knocks their bag.
Oh, wow.
So, there's always broken Finch sauce somewhere on the fairgrounds.
I would fight somebody if they ran into me and made me break my Finch barbecue sauce bottle.
Yeah. I'd make them buy me another bottle or two.
I would probably be banned from the fair, actually. I'd have to throw hands. I'd throw hands so hard.
I just want to eat my stuff. Like, just eat my sauce and rubs and enjoy it. So like, I'm still going to get another one,
Just not off the ground.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, it's a little
unless
weird.
You're my dog. They leave sauce on the ground when I'm
yes.
by the smokers.
So I learned about you last.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. We're all friends here. I was about to say, I learned about you at the fair last year, and I immediately, after tasting just the seasonings by themselves, I thought this is just amazing. And, I finally used up one of your, I say finally, but like I used it up a while back, your seasoning, the barbecue sauce, and even like the sweet habanero, the habanero one. For me, not being much of a hot guy, even I appreciated that one too. Like, it was just out of this world, and it didn't overwhelm with just like hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Thank you.
So how long did something like that take for you to kind of perfect? Like, did you all just go in like, we're gonna go habanero, just go all in, and then like what happened? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So it's funny because like I just posted a memory like 2 days ago on Facebook, or 3 days ago maybe, about when we first made the very first batch of habanero. And because I started using I started using like spicier like spices like cayenne and just adding more black pepper at first. But then I had a couple friends that they were stupid and just wanted some really hot stuff. And so he had been growing habaneros. And so he gave me his fresh habaneros and was like, yeah, just, chop them up, throw them in the oven to dehydrate them. And then, we'll just put it in the sauce. Okay.
And I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ask, like, why not like serrano? Why not jalapeno? Why habanero? But hey, that's an awesome story.
Because he was growing those and ghost peppers, and we did make one batch of ghost pepper, never again.
God.
Ghost peppers just became too expensive. So anyway, after he gave us that habanero, I took that habanero sauce to the Green Room, which was the band that I worked with for 7 years, which is kind of how this whole thing started as well. There's a lot of different stories as to where this sauce came from and how it grew, and it was because of the band, really. But anyway, so like I was in hopefully I'm staying on track. Like, I'm very ADD and can get lost.
Chris, you're totally fine. Every episode is like off the rails. So you're
okay.
You're on brand. You're on brand right now.
To our show.
Okay. Okay, good. So we did the habanero, took it to the Green Room. The band loved it. Like, they said it was just the right amount of heat. And one thing I learned is, because when I tasted it in the kitchen and posted that memory, you can see my head just sweating. Just it was so hot when I was tasting it there and it was still on the stove. What I learned, and I didn't know, is that when you cook with hot stuff, it tends to lower that heat level down, right? And so I guess by the time it went through the whole process of canning and getting to the Green Room and getting put on food, it was basically perfect. So I think we just got really lucky, man. I wrote all that ingredient
Yeah.
stuff down, and that's literally the same recipe we still sent to our co-packer. That got changed a little bit because they use different quality ingredients, way better
Right.
quality. And so, you know, the ratios and stuff change, but that's how we started that. And it was just from my friends growing it in the backyard. And I've always just kind of stuck with habaneros as our theme because of that. And so, yeah,
Wow.
that's it.
Any chances for like a beer barbecue sauce or a barbecue sauce?
There's always chances. There. So man, I can't really say a whole lot, but I'm working with a
Oh,
friend.
That's okay.
we
They
know
they
nothing.
they are they are huge. Like their revenue is like 3 to 5 million a year.
Choo.
Um, so they reached out to me about wanting some type of product for them for what they do, and so anyway, we're collabing on that. And so
Yeah.
That's
I definitely
awesome.
do collaborations all the time. The biggest thing right now is for us to come out with something new. It just kind of almost kills the momentum that we currently have. Um, because if I shift my focus on that, creating a new product rather
Yeah.
than pushing the products that we do have that people do love, then you just lose focus on that front, and you get, you know. And I only know this because it's happened before. We have 6 SKUs now, and so I've learned a little bit by, you know, from adding. We usually only try and add stuff around the state fair,
Right.
because you have 30 or 40,000 people walking in front of you to, you know, give you good feedback. So that's how we launched the honey habanero rub last year. Um, I don't think I'm going to be launching anything this year. I've been talking to my co-packer about it, but we're trying to get where stuff is just moving good. Cash flow is good.
Mm-hmm.
Product goes where it's supposed to be. Like just all the moving parts, from me getting emails from a store to sending that to my co-packer, making sure they have stuff in stock, not having to wait for it to be made, getting shipped on time. Like, so we're just trying to basically, since this whole meat church thing came out and we just kind of exploded, like we're just trying to get a handle on this and get it
Yeah.
grounded again, before I can really start focusing on making anything else. So
Man, Meat Church is they're really amazing, and they're really in the business of like cheering other people on.
yeah, Matt's it's very fortunate that I can call Matt a personal friend. I met him last November. I've met him before, but he never knew who I was. But we became, I guess, acquaintances and became a friend over this last almost year. And yeah, man, I've done 2 events out at his place. Uh, he just, I don't know, like I feel like when we had the video launch that he shared with the pear burner wings, like for that 4 weeks, like you're just on a high
Mm-hmm.
because your phone is just dinging all day long from Shopify. It's just bing, 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 bing. And she was just
Yep.
like, have mercy. Is it ever going to? And so like, we're being blessed. So at the same time, I turned around and blessed people with other ways. And it's just like, I think living Matt's life for like a week, you know, getting to, like, I can't imagine what he feels. And he probably just feels the same way, just wants to return that love and
Yeah.
blessing that his
Well,
family has been
they're
able to
Mhm.
receive.
they're just that's just a huge name in Texas barbecue, and uh, we had Steve. When was it? I think I went to Chris. I recently went to Chicago for work, and I ate at a place
2
there
weeks
called
ago, yeah.
yeah, a few weeks ago. I ate at a place there called Chicago Q. I didn't have any
Oh,
high expectations of it because I was like, what does barbecue in Chicago look like?
yeah.
And so it was just like whatever. And so I was like reading up about it, and it was, you know, they're kind of like call themselves Savannah style, which also doesn't mean anything in
Yeah.
barbecue.
What is
And
that?
so I was like, okay, great. But their brisket was really good. Their pulled pork was really good too. But I went on their Instagram to follow them. Meat Church follows them.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, well, if Meat Church follows you, you're either doing something right or it's a joke. Like they're
No.
hate following you, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's no, like, it's not a glitch. Like, if they're following you, you're doing something, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was really impressed by that. I was just sitting in a random place in Chicago. It was just like, what? Like, looking at my phone, I was like, huh, okay, must be legit. Like,
Uh-huh.
you know, you want to talk about somebody who's got clout. meat church. Like,
I mean,
yeah.
the amount of money that, I don't know, the influence that Matt has in the barbecue community, not just Texas. He's the largest provider of backyard food, products out there, like in the world. Like he is it. Other than for barbecue stuff, you still have the Tony Karachins and Slap Your Mama. That stuff sells insane.
Sure.
But for backyard barbecue, Matt is the guy. Like he is the number one. You can basically go into any store in the U.S. and find his products, which is insane. So it's just been a huge blessing for us. To be friends with him. I text him every once in a while, ask him questions. Sometimes he responds, sometimes he don't. It is what it is. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And then like the relationships I've been able to build from that relationship it's like you can't pay for that.
Well, I still contend and will continue to that it's not the business part. It's food. Food brings people together. That's the whole thing. Yep. I feel very strongly about that it's a common ground. No, even if anything else, even if nothing else is, right? Food.
Right.
Food unites.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about how World Series happened? Your representation there?
Yeah. Man. So so back in 2021, maybe? I think it was January 21. It was like right before I started working at Terry Black's. I did my very first barbecue pop-up at Hurtado Barbecue in Arlington. I didn't know Brandon. I knew Drew and Joe, who were my friends at Terry Black's at the time, but this was before I worked there. And so they were part of the pop-up. Once they found out I had sauce, I got invited. They had all had my sauce or whatever, and so like I just was like, can I come?
Is that crazy to you that they like you're just like what?
And so it's like I got to go do this pop-up. I worked at his restaurant that night, smoked on his 500-gallon Moberg. Like I was in heaven. Like it was insane. They cooked sausage. We did a whole hog. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I could barely run a fire, but I had my barbecue sauce, and that was it. And it worked. So that's where I met Brandon, and we weren't friends by any means. The dude was super nice. Let me tell you what he did. He came in that night at like 1:30 in the morning just to come and check on us, and brought an A5 Wagyu ribeye that was about like half an inch thick. All we did was put salt on it and threw it on the flat top for like 30 seconds, and my God, it was like just
butter.
That's the only time I've ever had any Wagyu, and it was Brandon being hospitable, not charging us to use his facility, and still brought us A5 Wagyu.
Yeah, I needed a credit check just to hear you say that.
Yeah, so just to give you an idea, that was my very first impression and meeting with Brandon Hurtado. So let's fast forward a couple years. I go back and do another pop-up last year there with the same people, me and my buddy David Dan, who's real big into a whole hog barbecue. To give you an idea, little sidetrack, he went and worked with the biggest name in whole hog barbecue, and I don't know the name, I'm sorry. And then he went and worked out at Rodney Scott's though. And so if you're into pork or anything like that, you know who Rodney Scott is because he's a James Bearden Award winner.
Yeah.
So that just gives you the caliber. I'm just trying to set the tone for who I'm working with. So we went and did this. We went and did this other one there, and it was awesome. Brandon loved it. It was great. A month later, I went and did the Q Fest barbecue fest at the AT&T Dallas Cowboy Stadium, and this was during the fair last year. And so this is all top 50 barbecue joints. Meat Church was there. That's where I met Matt. Brandon was there. I took him a case of all of our products, and I did the same thing for Matt, which I've always done. I've always been a person that just gives my stuff away to people that are higher than me in case something like this could happen, right? Gave it to Brandon. He loved it. He sent me a text like, I don't know, a week, basically like a day or two after the Rangers won that last game and were going into found out they were going into the World Series. And so Brandon just sent me a text message and was like, hey man, would you be okay if I use your sweet habanero sauce on a food dish for the World Series? And I was like,
You're like, no, absolutely
No?
not.
Yeah. So
What kind of question is that?
I'm just like, holy shit, okay. And I was like, well, how much do you need? And so that's what I did. I just got him all the stuff. He told me what he was doing. Uh, and yeah, it was crazy. He texted me at like 4:30 the morning of. They're doing like all this WFAA channel 8, channel 4, channel 5. He's set up in front of the Ranger Stadium with the Heim Hammer, our bottle of sauce. It's slightly turned because he couldn't promote it. Because he's the official barbecue of the Texas Rangers, not me. And I believe the official sauce is the Sweet Baby Ray's, which is located. They have a barbecue place in there as well, and so I think that was why.
Damn.
But all the Rangers execs, and they all tried the sauce, loved it. He was texting me, sending me pictures, and then what was crazy is, just from being a friend of his, as the Rangers were winning, I'm posting Facebook posts, right?
Yeah.
Right. Rangers
Yep.
are going to the World Series because Hurtado barbecue, right? So just like funny stuff like that. And so there was one post I made that was like, "Hey man, and if you happen to have any extra tickets, I'd love to go to the game." The dude texted me the week of the game and was like, "Hey, would you like to come out and help me? You and Wendy can come out and y'all can do tailgating with us before the game starts, and then I'll give you passes to go into game 1."
Golly.
Well,
Wow.
it ended up being not so good weather on that night, so they canceled the pregame, but we still got to go to the game, which was insane. We did not have seats. We just walked around, spent like $600 on jerseys and food and souvenirs.
Like you do. Yeah.
And it was like,
Yeah.
$600 was the price of a nosebleed ticket. So it was nothing. We were, I mean, it was an insane thing to just be a part of. To see our sauce on TV. It came on. There's a TikTok of me where we're literally watching it at my friend's house. I've got my jersey on and my bottle is on TV at the Hurtado barbecue.
Yeah.
Stand in the Ranger
Yeah.
Stadium.
And you're just losing it.
Yeah. So that whole thing was more of like there was really no activity that really came from that. Maybe a couple sales, couple cool videos and pictures, but really it was.
Hey, you were a part of the conversation. Like that's just as important as when you talk about like not doing too many new things so that you can keep it like in front of people. Like that's what that was. You know.
Yeah, and it was just a way, Brandon just saying thank you and taking care of us. Yeah, man, that's a memory I will never forget, and I will always be thankful that Brandon and his wife Hannah took care of us that weekend. Like it was crazy.
That's so cool.
The World Series,
so awesome, dude.
World Series of baseball. Like, yeah, it's insane. So
awesome. Yeah. Oh man. Well, I really like. I don't know. You might have mixed feelings about this, but sometimes I use your sauce to cook with instead of finishing with it.
So, I do have mixed feelings. I don't like to cook with it.
It's gonna be good. Yeah.
Like I think the aroma changes, the flavor of it changes, and I personally, this may be terrible to say as an owner. Maybe I shouldn't even say it then. I don't really like the fragrance of the sauce when it's
hot.
It's hot. Yeah.
Okay.
It to me it's an off smell.
I get that.
But like I mop my ribs with it sometimes, and so I'll do layers. I'll mop on, go 30 minutes, mop on some more, and it's like kind of once you get into like once it's kind of crisping up or layering up and thickening, the smell is better. The flavor is always great, but I just don't. I think that's the biggest reason I don't like to cook with it. And it's weird because it's just when it's on meat, it's a different smell.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the pork ribs. I don't know. It's the same thing for pork belly burnt ends for me as well.
Interesting.
I can tell you that this is not a barbecue recipe whatsoever, but my brother, I live with my twin brother. He does not like sauce at all. Okay. He's not a condiment person, and he doesn't like spicy either. But he's an avid like meat eater. So the dry rub, always a home run. But I didn't mean to make the baseball pun, but I made the baseball pun. And so it buckle up. I don't know if you're gonna hate this, but it could just show you like how it can transcend him not liking sauce, right? So he doesn't like heat. So half a bottle of the habanero, half a bottle of the regular on a 3-pound pork butt in the crock pot. Half a packet of ranch, okay, seasoning. Put all in there. All you're really doing is adding onion and garlic, in my opinion, right? It's just kind of shortcut, and some little dried parsley or whatever. You let it go. I shred the meat up, put it back in there, sit around the sauce, put on warm. Then you take a cookie sheet, tortilla chips, and you put a good amount of this pork in the sauce, Colby Jack all over the top, and a pickled jalapeno on each. Is like, we got to a point where we're eating it so often, he would come home from work on the weekends and he'd be like, "You got that pork? You got that pork?" And that's what he meant, was like the Finch barbecue sauce pork. Like, oh, so good. So good.
I don't know of any other sauce that gets people to like sauce other than ours, because I have so many people, "Oh, I don't like sauce, but I'll try it. Oh, that's actually really good. Well, I don't even like sauce, but I love yours." You know, it's just like, it's a different sauce, in my opinion. It's not a straight barbecue. I don't add any smoke flavor. I don't add a ton of Worcestershire sauce or anything like that, or molasses. Like, I hate molasses, but I have to use it in there. So I used just enough to where it did what it needed to do for sweetener, but didn't give the flavor of molasses, because I hate the flavor of molasses. And that's just me. So I'm never going to sell anything that I don't personally like.
Of course.
So
I like to heat your sauce up and then throw butter in there, let that all melt together. And for me, that's even better. You know, I throw butter in everything. So,
what does the butter help do?
Oh, it just makes it creamier and all that.
Okay.
But
it's the mouth
restaurants,
feel, and then it stretches it out, kind of like when you're making like wing sauce.
But butter's like
fat, you know.
Butter's
like...
gold, so makes everything better.
We I don't know. I'm weird with butter too. Like, I understand the whole mouthfeel and stuff, but like on my turkey, like almost all barbecue restaurants will rest their turkey upside down with a stick of butter, on it, so that it kind of helps moisten that texture of the outer layer, because it becomes kind of dry.
When I go out to eat barbecue, turkey always just seems like I guess I'll order this if they're out of ribs. Like, I just never order it.
I judge barbecue places off their turkey.
I judge a barbecue place off of their pulled pork, because I like a bark and fat mix.
Yeah, I don't trim my pork. Ratio, all the fat gets integrated back into that.
Oh, nice.
And we started using Duroc pork, the prime Duroc pork butts, and they're small. They're smaller, but my Lord, the amount of juice that's in there is insane. I've never seen a pork butt so marbled as those Durocs. Like, it's insane. Y'all know what Duroc is?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like, it's a pretty well respected pork brand. So
yeah.
But anyway, that's I don't remember exactly what we were talking about or how I got onto that subject.
Food, barbecue, your stuff.
Food is food.
That's every episode we do. We just go off on.
You're like, oh, what were we talking about again?
Stories,
yeah. Oh yeah, butter. That's right, butter.
Some good. Just heat your sauce up, throw some butter in there. Mop your ribs or whatever with it.
Yeah,
amazing.
Okay.
You were saying that you don't care for molasses very much. Do you have like a specific regional barbecue that you like one better than the other? Like, I don't like ketchup on mine, so I don't go for like Kansas. You know what I mean? Like,
so, as into barbecue as I am, I'm completely honest. I don't know shit about any other barbecue out there.
He's like, we make our barbecue stuff
other than Texas barbecue.
Yeah.
I learned from Terry Black's. That was literally I've only been doing this since 2017. Like, I know Memphis is kind of like supposed to be dry rub on ribs. I don't know what any other meats consist of. I know the Carolinas are big on pork and have 1,000 different sauces for each individual region of Carolinas. That's pretty much like the extent of my barbecue knowledge across the U.S. I just stick to what I'm good at, and that's just Texas barbecue with sometimes we throw some twist into it or whatever that Wendy wants to do, because she's got way more culinary skills than I do. I just know how to run a fire for the most part. Like,
I'm a really big fan of mustard and acid, so a lot of times I go for a Carolina style barbecue, but I want the Carolina sauce as a finish, but like on a Texas brisket. So I'm kind of like a barbecue pariah. I don't really have a home. even though I'm from Texas. So
that's okay.
you know,
I mean,
like,
it is weird that you like pork more than brisket, but that's okay.
it's cheaper.
Yeah.
It is a lot cheaper.
Your girl got bills, man.
I understand. Well, like I said, I cook this food all day. I don't eat it. I can't afford to eat it. Like my customers can though. But yeah,
Yeah.
I eat my smoked turkey and bologna sandwich.
There's
I
nothing
understand.
wrong with that.
Yeah,
There's
Ain't
I
nothing
get
wrong with that.
I also wanted to tell you while we have you here, and I don't know if you've ever done it before. I'm sure you've done plenty of maybe not meat things with the rub, but the sweet heat rub makes incredible Chex Mix. You make it with that
really?
one time, you will not go back.
Wow.
Like,
So what are you doing? What are you putting in the bag with the Chex Mix and the seasoning? Anything else to help
like
it appear?
like I follow the regular. If you're like looking on around Christmas time, like on a box of Chex, it'll be like a half a stick of butter,
Okay.
or maybe like a quarter stick, 2-3 tablespoons, little Worcestershire. But usually they'll call for like onion, pepper, or like onion, salt, pepper, garlic, or whatever. I'm doing the sweet, the habanero,
Yeah.
the sweet heat rub.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
I'll try it
good,
out.
dude. It's so good.
Yeah, we put that stuff on a lot of veggies. Our all-purpose is really good on veggies.
Yep.
Then we'll mix it in with just sour cream to make a little dip. Like, yeah. But yeah, I've never put it in Chex Mix.
That sounds really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that I will like crave the rub, and then I start looking around the house to see what I have to put it on. I eat
Yeah.
a lot of chicken. I don't have anything against beef. I eat beef, sure. I really let somebody else pay for it though.
Yeah.
Like if I eat steak, I'm eating at work and it's free. So
Yeah.
like like that's how we're doing it.
Yeah, grilled chicken is all we used for years. I mean, that's until I learned how to do brisket. That's all we used our sauce on. So, and then I wanted to, you were talking about using the beef rub on everything in your house, which anything that we cater pretty much always has our beef rub on it. Our brisket,
Wow.
turkey, pork
Yeah.
ribs, our sausage has the beef rub integrated into it. Yeah, so yeah, I just use our beef rub on basically everything.
And the potatoes too.
The German potato salad we do. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
some all-purpose.
That'd be pretty good.
Some all-purpose in there. So we try and use our seasonings in every side that we use, that we make.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you?
Some portion of it,
Yeah.
or something.
Absolutely.
That way it's kind of ours. So whatever.
Yeah.
But
I love it. I think the next step's popcorn. You have it on there?
we have, we've done it on
Oh
popcorn.
man.
Yeah.
Because sampling at stores, we try and figure out what we can sample our rubs on that's cheap, and popcorn is pretty much it. That and bread, two cheapest things we can like sample with.
I want to make a batch of those like little oyster crackers, or like the saltines where you toss them with like the chili flakes. They'll use like the barbecue. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Oil. Yeah.
Okay. When I make it, I will tag Finch Barbecue.
Yeah, do it.
Post it to
Crazy.
the pod page because now you just got me hungry and.
Yeah.
We are talking about food the whole time, so.
I know. It's hard that you can't record on an empty stomach. So.
Yeah.
I'm a bit overdue to place an order, so you will be getting an order from me pretty soon.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We're currently out of our original. We're waiting on 2 invoices to get paid from a distributor of ours before I can pay my co-packer, and then our original will be released to us. So unfortunately, right now we're kind of in a pinch. They won't release anything else until I pay off another invoice. So that's the whole thing. Like cash flow is like, we're trying to. We're still trying to just settle back down from the whole meat church thing. Like it's just been, as soon as we could get something made, it sells, and then we're out. So it's just been crazy.
Not
so
not a terrible problem to have though.
So if you do order
problem.
original, it may just be a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's worth the wait. So obviously,
everybody
out there, you can find these products at finchbarbecue.com. They're 3 sauces and rubs. You can follow Finch Barbecue on Facebook. Do you guys have an Instagram?
Yeah, it's just Finch BBQ.
Okay.
And if you on our website has links to all of our socials down at the bottom of the page.
Perfect. Okay, well, I'm going to link to your website and your socials when this episode comes out. But is there anything else you want somebody to know? Maybe like we've got a lot of listeners in Alabama. I have a few. There's a few in Florida, right? Like they're kind of spread out all over the place. Anything else anybody needs to know about you?
No. I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I would, I would never say we have the best of anything, but we do have delicious products. So at least give us a try. And then if you ever have any
the
questions,
best barbecue sauce.
right? I mean, it is.
It really is.
But I don't like to be.
He would
You're
never
not even
say
paying
it.
us to say that.
He would never say it, but I would.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's who says it for us is all of our customers. That's the
Yeah.
only reason we've been able to grow.
Yeah.
Is because we've been able to make a consistent product that people like. But anyway, if you have any questions about brisket, feel free to reach out to me. All my contact info is on the website. I offer
Amazing.
free tips all the time, and I can help you walk through a whole brisket cook on whatever smoker you're doing. I'll give you tips to help that go. So anyway, I just like to always throw that out there because
that's a tremendous resource
Awesome.
for everybody.
Yeah.
I hope somebody takes advantage.
Yeah, just shoot me a message, shoot me an email, and we'll hook up.
Well, for the listeners, when this episode drops, whoever will share this to their personal page from the podcast Facebook page, I will get some Finch rub in the mail for you for free as a gift. Make sure that your profile is public so that we can see it and tag us back in it. Okay. So, all right, Chris, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks
I
for
really
joining us.
enjoyed it. Thank you guys. Y'all
All right.
had some good questions.
Take care.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye. That's a wrap for today. Until the next episode of the Food for Thoughtcast, make good food, eat good food, share it, and be kind to one another.
Thanks so much for listening today. You are part of what makes us special, and we are so glad you joined us. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave a review. Just like food, delicious podcasts are better when you share them with others. Come back for seconds wherever podcasts are served, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Food for Thoughtcast.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at the Food for Thoughtcast or at www.foodforthoughtcast.com, where you can link to all podcast players, or you can send us an email at foodforthoughtcmc@gmail.com.